there it is.
Oh,
There's
baby.
the run at you hero.
I
There's
was
the
wondering.
initiate.
I was
There's my
wondering if we're gonna
boy.
start to see him, right? Because he got some
Oh,
decent buffs.
he is.
Mainly around bulldoze, right? So like once you
It's a
get to
lower
20,
cooldown, yeah.
yeah, you can
It's a lower
basically
cooldown,
be
but
almost all time uptime.
this hero through the last like, I don't know 5 6 patches, his changes have been like non-existent or like very underwhelming. And then the bulldoze change, it's nice, but this hero has always been good. It's always been such a good hero. You get to just get to the back line. Sure, you can't farm that well, but you can set the tempo so well. You do run the risk, though, that if you try and set a high tempo and make a couple mistakes, you are unable to kind of reset your tempo because you force people around the map, wasted TPs, so your whole map position can be wrong. But against the Void, it's it's annoying, but you do have this hero that will always be able to like annoy the Void in these fights. So but again, Void v Slark, classic Void kind of win where you chrono the Slark, you should be able to kill him. But there's the IO as well, so yeah, it's a nice draft from Team Unique. But Hellraisers currently have this ability to just go, and Unique, they even though they got this nice laning kind of setup, they after like 5 minutes of laning phase, when they get to this 10 to 15 minute mark, their Void will still want to farm. Their Centaur might be recovering depending on how bad the lane is, especially if against an Iron Slug, it might be a bit rough. So Team Unique might leave the laning phase with a little bit of an issue of how can they actually group up and take a fight. Whilst Hellraisers on the other side of it, they don't need anything to run. They just need a couple levels, a good captain making the go call, and they're just going to be going anywhere on the map, just behind towers, killing everything potentially.
No, it's true. It feels like a lot of the time Dota is moving towards these low cooldown ultimates, this kind of constant go, right? Like the action is
Hmm.
very intense at the moment. And Void, he's that old guard of heroes, right? Like I have this giant ultimate, it'll win us the game like 40, 50 minutes, but earlier on, it's kind of an afterthought. I maybe use it for a kill here or there, or I keep it as an insurance policy at all times.
Yeah, well, that's because this patch is so quick. You look at the average game length, right? It's like around 31 minutes or something, I believe, when I last looked at it. So you if you pick cooldowns, you force yourself to play like a good game. So Hellraisers, they don't care about cooldowns. They're gonna go unique. They're gonna chill for a little bit, play off the better positioning, and then they should also be fine if they get to that later stage. But oh, I do love some CIS aggression. That's what I'm here for.
No, it's what we like to see, and that's what you get when you get things like Centaur on the draft, Slark on the other side. That's the interesting part about Unique's draft right now as well, right? Like Centaur, a lot of the time at the moment, we're seeing offlaners that focus on just pushing the lane, farming a little bit, and you build us utility and aura. Centaur is one of those kind of old guard offlaners where he's used for initiation, and we also saw a lot of buffs, I'd say, around heroes with the very recent patch, right? Like Axe, I believe, is one of the ones that got some decent buffs. It feels
Mhm.
like they want to diversify the offlane role again because it did kind of become a buff and go type lane.
I still think it's somewhat in line with that though, where when you look at offlaners picked at the major, for example, all of them had this ability to buy an aura or to have some type of kind of tankiness, right? And I think it's just the fact that you're because of the couriers, etc., previous patch, you have this ability to just have more regen. So I think all the lanes are becoming a lot more open to having kind of any hero present there because you have this ability to ship out whatever you want. You don't need to buy courier, you don't need to buy wards. Like there's so much more gold on the map at the start of the game where it kind of unlocks your ability to play many heroes. I was worried that Team Unique didn't have any saves. They had like, obviously Stampede to get away. They got the armor from Lich, and then obviously the Chrono if you want to count that, but you don't really want to use that to save someone. So Unique, they do run the risk where Hellraisers, if they leave laning phase with a gold lead and they start picking up this tempo and start moving, then they are going to be able to take the aggression, get these pickoffs, and especially now that you have this Venom Monster last pick, you have an ability to slowly siege these towers. Right now with the Hellraisers draft, even though you have this aggression, you do lack this ability to go high ground or to even really take an objective. So this Venom Monster, obviously with the Plague Wards, you will slowly start to kind of move through these objectives. So I think Unique, it's going to be a scary start to the game. But again, if they can get past this kind of initial laning phase hurdle, this mid game aggression, then Unique in a really good spot to take this to a kind of a close mid to late game where it'll be kind of situational and shot call dependent who wins.
No,
Also, Gilga, Gilga's going to win the game. It's Gilga, man. Come on.
Well, you know, I don't know about you, T, but I last time I checked, we're meant to be unbiased, or at least that's what the Twitch chat
Oh,
expects of us.
I'm just chatting, man. It's whatever, you know.
It's
You
all
Neek's
hot
gonna win it.
air. Who's
Yeah,
gonna
it's
win
all
is gonna
right.
win. You know?
I couldn't give a hoots about Gilga now. Cool, I'm done, Jane.
Hey, you know,
Throw him down.
this guy's got the balls. Okay, look, the big cojones on this guy.
Oh,
He can handle it. They've got Slark on their team. Surely this is just cut and dry. I mean, one side is running a TI4 strat, and the other side is playing 2020 Dota.
oh, but is this though? Look at this. This is some classic CIS draft if you've seen it, right? You know, you ignore the heroes, just the concepts, right?
Blood, blood. Like, all the heroes just want to
oh
kill,
yeah,
really.
oh yeah, I forgot to say the Spirit Breaker. I'm gonna announce it here first. Spirit Breaker carry. It's gonna be a thing, revolutionary.
Oh
Just so
yeah,
everyone's aware, okay?
you sure about that?
100%, 100%. And
Okay.
by that I mean about 0.0001%, and I'm just kind of again hot air, but you know, for the purpose of me trying to hype it up. Okay, let's just position
Okay,
3.
okay.
We can
Let's
we'll
square
put
it.
it to position 3.
Okay. I'll help you justify this a little bit. It
Okay.
felt like the changes around neutral items was very heavily targeted at slowing down the ramp up of agi carries and thus bringing backing strength carries, right? Because last patch was just all agi everywhere. PL, Slark,
You're trying
etc.
to you're sugarcoating this. We should really just be blunt with this. It's a terrible carry, but my god, do you get to ape, and apes together are strong, as you saw from True Sight. So, woo! When you see it in one game, I take at least 2% credit.
Okay, okay. So you're coining this. 5 years from now, when it finally happens, you're like, I was there. This was
I
me.
played 4 games of Spirit Breaker carry, and I can claim it.
I fed all 4, but
Actually, I've won
they
all 4.
figured out the formula. Oh, you won all 4.
Yeah,
Well, there you go then.
yeah,
You're the expert. You've got 100% win rate.
yeah, you know it.
You know, it's like I always say that I know more about Chen than Sniff because my my win rate is better. Sure, I've only got
I
like
can't
50
fault that
games,
logic.
but
You probably quote the Dota buff hero leaderboards and say that you're good at a hero based off that. That is probably the worst metric that I've ever seen.
hey,
I'm a
stats,
top 12
stats
win
don't
runner in the
lie.
world.
Stats do not lie, okay?
uh,
You're good at
right,
it
more
once, you'll be good
importantly,
at it
bounty
again.
runes. This is what we care about.
Oh yeah, the change in location has spiced it up a little bit. Well, actually, no, it really hasn't, has it? It's done the reverse. It's made it a little bit easier to assure you get your bounties, and no one really tends to aggress them anymore.
I think it's put them in a lot of a safer position where obviously on the high ground it's very scary to go to. So if you set up correctly, you should always be able to go for a 50-50 split on bounty runes. But again, if you hold the high ground first, it's very scary that if you go for the wrong rune and try and go back into your own high ground, yeah, it's a scary mechanic now for sure.
And looks like we are going to get the Lone Druid up against the Bat Rider in the mid. And I'm kind of surprised the Lone Druid's coming out because this hero, with the fact you can only have one neutral item now, I'd say he got hit the hardest out of anyone. Because he just used to be the stacker, right? Like, you take every item on you and the bear.
I think we just need to be...
Kodos,
that is one dead Kodos.
Yep, he's gone. 10 stats!
Gone was the time of getting Firefly. Just get... Oh, that was disgusting.
I don't understand why he didn't back up at any point. I was like, wait, we're about to hit double digits here, sir.
That was grim, actually grim. But no, I think the reliance on neutral items may have like poisoned your mind towards what Dota was. Like before neutral items, Lone Druid was still a good hero, right? You get the potentially Mask of Madness Radiance or Midas Radiance or any of these types of items, and you push. Neutral items just kind of inflated his ability, and that's all those items do. They just inflated the ability for any hero to have presence within the game.
Yeah.
And they just scaled it back down. So now it's just coming back to normal. You get one item, you have to choose what's the best for you, and then you play from there. It's not some kind of stupid game where you can shut out a core from top and suddenly he's got Fangs, Talon, I don't know, a Broom Handle, and suddenly he's back in the game because he's got three free items, you know? So it's nice. They're scaling back the game, it's all good.
Yeah, they amped up the amount of neutral items you can get, which I liked it because I was looking like, okay, now you have a select choice to make, and everyone is going to be able to get their hands on an item. Whereas before, it did really turn into this: PL requires all the items. Give the PL or whatever your carry is, every single item, okay, he will project us forward to victory.
Yeah, it's nice. I like the change. It's a really good change for sure.
Yeah, it's communist neutral item.
I will say the thing with the IO Slark lane as they run away from it is it's a very passive lane where it's good if you get the right clicks off. But Centaur, he's a tankier boy. He's not too scared. And when you got the Sky backing him up, there's not a lot of kill potential from the IO Slark unless they somehow get like 10 right clicks off and the Sky's kind of sleeping on the lane. So it's the Centaur will have items in this game. I think the most crucial lane for HellRaisers to win is this mid lane. The Batrider has to crush this Lone Druid, already got the solo kill, and he needs to turn this momentum into potentially moving around the map and getting this kind of tempo set so that the Spirit Breaker can play behind an active core.
That's true. And when you look at both sides, right, like a Centaur can do some damage to a tower, but a Void's not really going to do. Lone Druid is the one in the mid game, like he will be able to hit towers. And that's where HellRaisers are a bit weaker, right? That's something that Team Unique can try and exploit, is the fact that HellRaisers don't really have a good tower hitter other than like an army of Plague Wards, which takes a lot of time to set up anyway.
Yeah, but that's the thing where it's like they're setting themselves up where their early game tower hitter will be the Venomancer, but moving into mid to late game, their Slark, when he gets more items and he's confidently able to frontline where he's got the IO to save him from the Chrono, the Slark will be able to build into the tower damage just through his kind of natural item progression.
And I think when I look at HellRaiser's draft, does it feel like they should be rotating and playing around the Veno for most of the game, right? Because you've got the IO, you've got the Spirit Breaker, Batrider that might build into like Boots of Travel. But Veno is usually the one that's the one out, right? The slow, immobile hero in this very globally present draft.
Well, it depends on the build from Venomancer. Some Venomancers go for an early Boots of Travel rush because they're able to take their tower early and they want to be able to relocate to another lane and just kind of go forward again. So it depends on his build. He could very much build towards the whole idea of play high tempo, or he could just buy the pipe, buy these auras to enable his slug, which I think he should do in this game personally.
Yeah, it's the way we usually see the offlane Veno played, right? Like Spirit Vessel into like pipe. Maybe then you go for the 4-staff, get a bit of mobility. But in the end, just like most offlaners at the moment, you are going to be the bulk of utility for your team.
Yeah, for sure. You always need to have utility in your draft.
Yeah, Poshka might be in a little bit of trouble. They can't get the extra bash in, so they'll let him get away. That's the beautiful thing about this hero. So bulky with all that armor and that high HP at level 1. Team on top. Pedishar just about gets away.
But he has the salve on Centaur anyway, so he's going to salve up and be back in the lane.
More importantly, that salve gets full value because someone was nice enough to take some stats away from him.
Whoa. Your brain is pulsating this morning, sir. This afternoon.
This is why I used to love playing Pudge against Slark. It's like, all right, you remember when he was broken on the offlane? You're like, great, that's flat regen for me, baby. You just healed me up for full. And then I'd get nuked down for 200.
That's horrendous, because then you're back to full HP, you walk back to lane, and he does it again in your hour lane, right? I'm going to not even let you have that one.
I got XP, okay? That's all that matters. That's how he's getting a lot of XP.
The lanes are going pretty well though for Dire. Veno up on 31 CS, Batrider kind of crushing mid.
You say kind of. He's a Batrider with 13 denies. I think kind of is an understatement. This isn't a hero renowned for CS domination.
Yeah, the only issue with this is you can never really take the tower, obviously, as a Batrider. So he needs to get an active rune and make a play from that, just get more kills.
Oh, kills happening top. There's a charge in as well, but it's going to be cancelled.
So trade on supports. Just pause 4, pause 4. Of course, Gilger is playing the Iron. He is still position 4, even though he's in the top lane.
Yeah, I've always been the more greedy one. Spirit Breaker, of course, while it's nice to get gold on that hero, the reality is no matter how much gold you get, unless you've got a 10 kill streak and you're being ridiculous, you'll get to a stage in the game where you are just suicidally bombing into the enemy team.
Oh.
It's like the techies of farm animals, really. Oh,
delightful.
Here he comes. Hey, I like to paint a picture, and they're trying to paint a picture on Pedishar here, but nice stomp coming out, just able to move away in time, and no fear. Runs into free, but he's not good enough to save Centaur's life, as they still get the final hit out from Gilga.
Gilga God, by the way.
I mean, you mentioned it. You said it might be a factor.
I didn't coin the phrase. This is a phrase made by the people, for the people. He is the people's player.
This is like the next step in my communist neutral statement here. Gilga is for the people, unless he finds like an essence ring. That shit belongs to him.
Amen. The thing is though, mech is actually so cheap. It's only 1950 gold for a mech now. So with IO starting items, normally you go headdress, you get a casual chainmail after 3-4 minutes of laning phase. You then only need the recipe to complete your mech. So you can get a mech around about 8 to 9 minutes on an IO if you're playing a very passive lane, getting denies and just kind of existing with a couple assists as well. Like it's kind of insane that you can get the mech so early now.
You say existing like that, and I just imagine a smile on that bull's face at that point.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
life has never been easier. They did at least take away some elements of Essence Rain because they nerfed it, right? So you don't get like the kind of double heal factor anymore.
You just get given HP. It's not like a direct heal, so
Yeah.
it shouldn't work on IO because obviously if you're not getting a heal, you're getting your own HP. It won't obviously transfer over, I believe.
Yeah, it's fair enough as well because that item was, I mean, it felt quite frankly broken on that hero. Like if you got that drop, it was like, all right, game winning for me, boys and girls.
It's a free mech in reality. It's a free one-man mech, so yeah, it's kind of annoying. But again, it is mana intensive, so
That was always the balancing factor.
of
Seems to
course.
be a way that they moved around with a lot of items. I think Flicker was another one that also.
Oh, Flick is so useless. Please.
It is. Like, I keep looking at it, it's like, okay, I'd rather you just took away the Dispel and took away the mana cost, and then we can talk. Because Diffu builders, there's a lot of them right now. So
It's
you
just the
can't
fact
ever
that
escape.
when I said that, I meant the active.
Oh, yeah, the blink.
Yeah. That's what I'm referring to.
The
Just
I'm screwed, let me just mash this button and see if things get better for me.
Yeah.
There was
I've gone the
one
wrong
hero.
direction.
There was one hero I like didn't mind on, and that was Omni Knight, because with the stats resistance, you just like waste the enemy team's time so much in combat.
Maybe. You're not selling me. But you know what is selling me? HellRaisers laning phase.
Oh, it's
They're only
looking
a
good.
K up, but they get there at a spot where if they continue just being at a nice even pace, as soon as they collapse their laning phase and go for that first kind of team movement, they should be able to get as many kills as they want, really. As long as they don't kind of misstep or kind of dive towers unnecessarily. If they take the fight correctly, they should be able to abuse the fact that their lineup is very aggressive right now, and Team Unique is a little bit slower.
That's a fair way of looking at it. And when you look at uniques as well, this Skyrock kind of has to pop off, right? This is not a 4 that feels good if it doesn't come out the lane swinging, right? You want a quick ATOS, you want to keep amping up because of the way that you scale damage with in. And
Centaur, buddy.
he's got the Stampede. He won't hesitate to throw it out to try and get away, and he will be able to escape. But Spirit Breaker not so lucky. Kodos does bring him down in the mid lane. Oh, no, he doesn't get away. Kisani just about gets in range there, so it'll be a 1-for-1 trade, but in favor of HellRaisers because 1, it's a free, and 2, he used Stampede.
Yeah, nice start to the aggression, but again, this is technically the issue with the HellRaisers draft is after we get a kill, what else do we do on the map? And right now it's just, let's go back to farming right now, which is fine, perfectly fine. But then it does leave room for like this lone druid to sit mid. Like after the initial kill, the Bat Rider of course wants to make move elsewhere on the map, so they get the Skyrath kill.
Easy little cleanup. He throws out the Mystic Flare because it's low cooldown, might as well.
But again, here it is. It's like you get this kill, but then you kind of met with another wall of what do we do now, lads? We're not really in a full fighting position, so
we just keep fighting, farming. Right? Yeah, we just keep killing, and that's all we can do because the only person who's going to hit towers is in the bot lane.
Yeah, to make it clear, it's very good that they aren't doing over the top kills right now. Because if they did that, they put themselves in a really awkward position where they're trying to be over aggressive, they get punished, and then they just lose the game because obviously their draft falls off compared to Team Unique. So it's nice, but just be ready. There's going to be a switch in this draft, like a moment, and it's going to click. And all of these heroes are going to go, we're going to go now. And it's going to be mental. Just be ready. It's passive right now. It's very chill, very relaxed. It's going to turn it up soon. They're
all just going to turn to Bloodseeker is what I heard there. There's going to be the I smell blood line, and then it's just go.
Pretty much.
Probably comes at the 20-minute mark, right? Like the rotations towards the outposts is when you feel strong enough. In the meantime, bot lane, no escape there. Meanwhile, top Chrono's going to be thrown out either to try and save the day, but the Mystic Flare combo is too strong. And they find the kill on the Fishy Boy. And should be able to push him for the tier 1 tower top for the trade.
Does not have enough heal, unfortunately.
No.
Also, wasn't able to get the relocate off because the Slark was too far into the Chrono from his position, so he'd have been stunned by the Chrono, cancelling the relocate. That's why he didn't cast it there.
See, what he needed was a salve. Yeah, he had a salve. I mean, I don't think he popped one when he tried. So, charge in. Venno is posturing, but they've lost the tower already. There's a lot of heroes here. Miposhka can run away quick enough, though. And the Stampede,
and
they don't hesitate. Although they did catch the bear.
They are going to get the bear. Yeah.
Yeah, so a nice little something. The Raw try and get them away.
Maybe
Kodos' bear still being chased onto, though. Looks like they did not quite catch it, or the final hit comes out. Yeah, they got it.
Splendid.
Just about.
Splendid.
Yes, better than killing one of those supports at this stage in the game. At least for one member of the team. The rest kind of luck out. But yeah, I'm going to see Void going towards the Maelstrom. Maelstrom, an item that did get a slight nerf. I believe it was 10 damage removed. It seemed like Ice Frog wanted to move Battle Fury back into the rotation, as I don't feel like any hero other than Anti-Mage really builds it at the moment.
It's just not really worth the amount of gold. It's meant to be a lane pushing, carry, kind of enabling item, but Maelstrom just does it all better. Cheaper, more like magic damage, push out lanes, you can scale into better items, Mjolnir. Battle Fury is highly situational. Again, it can be good against some cores. On some cores, let's say against like some core Fury type of thing, you want to eat the Sprout, kind of Kappa, but you know, it's there. But nah, it's just not good. Build-up's too long, game's too quick.
Yeah, they took some weird kind of swings with it. Well, they're going to take a swing at top lane. And the Time Walk was just used as well. Aggressive Child plays a little bit too aggressively and gets punished by 4 as they reload in. Frost Shield to try and protect him. He just gets a Time Walk off. No Fear saves the day, and the slows might allow him to get away as well. Too close for comfort, but Void does live, and the failed gank from 4 members of HellRaisers.
The beauty of the TP. Excellent work, Mr. Lich. Yeah, that Frost Shield is actually so good. Like, you just go like 1-3-1 by level 5, or by level 6, sorry, to your point with your ultimate. You make heroes so tanky, and especially when HellRaisers, they rely on their Sark physical damage. Barra doesn't really do, it's just the magic damage, bash control. Like, I doesn't really do anything because he don't really level balls anymore until later on. Batrider, he wasn't really doing much there for Firefly, so yeah, it's the Frost Shield, insane value.
Most definitely, and HellRaisers, the type of magical like the magic damage scaling doesn't really come in until Venno gets like what, a level 2 Poison Nova. It's not like you've got someone building Veil on your team either. I believe Venno didn't go for that route.
It's going to be an awkward game for like the magic damage front, because obviously Void can always Time Walk off some of the damage. The Lone Druid plays off of the bear, and then the Centaur will buy pipe. So the calls on Team Unique at the 20-minute mark plus will kind of not really care about some of this magic damage. Of course, if they're positionally placed wrong, then they will care, but overall they
Chrono found him again. Kaysani's gone with the Mystic Flare combo every time, getting themselves a guaranteed kill with it.
But the important thing to note now, even though you killed this Batrider, it's what can HellRaisers do after the Chrono. As soon as this big team fight goes down, exactly. Now the Centaur's dead, it's the Batrider's up in 20 seconds, and then you're going to have around 100 seconds with no Chrono. And at this point, this is when HellRaisers can turn that switch and go for full aggression, because they know that they're not going to get picked up by their only key teamfight spell, which is the Chrono. The Centaur isn't going to get any stomps off right now. He doesn't have a Blink Dagger, so HellRaisers are going to go and try and really force this right now.
Now, this has kind of been the signature thing, right? This is why Slark is so
good.
The bots. Cool. Oh, he did go for it. Nice. And the Spirit Vessel is pretty close as well.
I do think, though, a pipe would be absolutely sublime this game. But, you know, it's each to their own.
Nah, right now he's like, whoever's in the Chrono, we forget they exist.
They're gone.
That's his statement
How
until Funny's the one stuck there.
Oh, the Centaur back-to-back
out of position as well. No chance to even throw out that Stampede. At least he'll have it ready when he's back up. That's in 30 seconds. Who are you going to lose in the meantime? Jump in on the Kodos. Mystic Flare going down. Nick sidesteps it. Chain Frost bouncing around Kodos. Just staying alive. They need one more hit on him to make sure he definitely goes down. Well, and is running out. Reload around the back. Looks like Kaysani can get the kill, and so bad. Not looking too good. Definitely looking bad there as he still goes down with a TPR attempt. 4 dead on the side of Unique, and the tower will join them in the grave.
HellRaisers want to go. No Chrono, go fight. Team Unique should potentially identify this and try and kind of open up the map a bit more, maybe play the side lanes. But the issue, again, with their draft is currently both their supports don't have lane push. Their Lone Druid doesn't push lanes that fast right now because he doesn't have the items. Void, again, really slow. Centaur, no lane push at all, in reality. Other than maybe like double edging it, but it's kind of awkward. And then all of this is then kind of punished as well by the Spirit Breaker and the Relocate. where they don't have lane push. So if they were to try and play this kind of split push, open up the map, then the Baron's just going to go connect on them. They're going to get a relocate on top of them, and they're going to get punished for splitting the map. So Unique are in a really difficult position right now, where if they don't have Chrono up, they can't really show on the side lanes unless they have numbers. And if they're in numbers on the side lanes, they're really capping their farm, while HellRaisers can freely roam around the map. Because if Unique waste their Chrono, like they did in mid killing the Batrider, they can see there they lose an objective and get team wiped. So it's really scary for Unique right now. They need to find the farm, hold the Chrono, and really make sure that when they go for a team fight, they're doing it close to an objective and get a kill on key heroes, be it Venomancer, be it Slark. They can't waste it on this Batrider.
And that's one of the powerful things about Spirit Breaker to counter any sort of split push, right? It's like, it's not that you don't know necessarily when he's coming. That's part of it. It's also the fact that he gives additional recon. As soon as you try and TP away or walk away, he knows where you're going to be next. And that allows them to then flex and go, okay, if he's just TP top and they're clearly rotating towards top, we see someone mid, we'll just switch a gank there. Spirit Breaker, you've got another charge in a few seconds. So it's not like it's a big investment for us. Let's go there instead.
Yeah, Spirit Breaker is a beautiful hero, and he does this very well. He punishes one of the core concepts of the game, which is just split push. So, whew, beautiful. I'm just like love watching a Spirit Breaker game. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, you can already see him giving Scout Vision here, and they actually get TP up Funnick, but it's just a fake. They just want to force them back, and that's the other thing about Spirit Breaker. Like, they ping him, they saw him coming, and sure, he could be faking the charge, but it's not like he's hard committed. He can stop that charge at any time, so you have to treat it as if the whole team is rotating each time you see he's doing that.
It's the 50-50. Actually, it's 9 times out of 10 it will be vision based, because of course when you charge someone, you see the vision that they have, or the vision around them. Sorry, but yeah, it's a very good tool. But again, you can see the vision from HellRaisers though. They're set up very much where they don't want to play on their own side of the map anymore. They've used all their wards in the enemy jungle, which means they're going to want to pressure these towers. They're going to happily trade this tower right now because they don't have, because the Chrono is up. If they try defending this tower, it'll be like one TP in, another TP in, a charge. It's going to be, they're going to have to turn up to the fight. And this is the time that Unique can win the fight, because HellRaisers aren't this cohesive 5. So HellRaisers are going to respond to this tier 2 tower push top by just simply taking bot tier 2, trading, owning the jungle.
Of course, they'll eventually want to come up and secure this again, because there is 1, 2 towers up there, and 2, there's a bigger contest around that top outpost now. That's the only place that's close, other than the tier 1 top for Radiant, to Roche.
And look at the amount of time it took Team Unique to take this top tower. The Spirit Breaker charging twice just for vision. Every time he charged through that ward on the top bounty rune, top active rune, sorry, Team Unique always disengaged. So that entire time, HellRaisers farmed like 1/2, maybe even 3/4 of the map there, whilst Team Unique was set as 5 heroes to get in one objective. So Unique, they understand that they can't be alone, and it's handicapping their farm.
Yeah, and that was something we wondered, right? Before we saw the farm pick, we were like, okay, they've got this Void, and they've got the Skyride, this Centaur around him. Are they going to try and play round 1? And Kaysani trying to play for a kill on Kodos here. The charge ain't going to be there. Now the Poison Nova as well. They're going to catch in with the Chrono, connect on to the Mystic player as well. Nyx, not tanky enough to stay alive, will be brought down. Kodos does disengage with the assistance of the Stampede, so it looks like it's going to be 1-for-none trade. But that is once again Unique's combo for 1 kill.
The Slark unfortunately holding his ultimate there. Don't know if he got silenced or not, but he was very much holding that ultimate. He saw the Void coming, and if he did get it off, he would have survived that Chrono, but very unfortunate. I think he did get silenced as the Chrono hit as well.
No, that's true. And then there's the issue that, like, you see them commit on this lone druid, and a lot of time people are like, okay, why are you going for a lone druid? You know he's got the Roar, you know he's tanky, it's not an easy kill. But you have to, right? Otherwise, like, the fear push away in these choke points just sets up very easy Chronos. That's a 1-man Chrono. Yes, the IO's on the side, but you know they can only get 1 kill. But if they catch the Veno and the Batrider with that Slark, they do have the damage to easily kill at least 2 with the Chain Frost bounces.
It was just one of those fights where they're starting going from in the river up into the high ground. They're trying to jump this lone druid. The Void's able to freely walking. Like, the only hero that you don't want chronoed realistically on HellRaisers is the Slark. The Slark commits heavily onto the lone druid, when potentially if it was just a Batrider, Baron, Venomancer throwing out the damage, and the Slark maybe played around, force the Void to maybe throw a chrono onto the Batrider again, then the fight can go a bit better. So I think it's just the Slark needs to be a little bit more patient in these fights, wait to see the Void, get his ultimate off, or at least play around to jump maybe the support or jump the Centaur. Like, he can't be the one getting Chrono is the key takeaway from this fight. But again, Chrono gets used instantly means the next 60, 70 seconds is a free objective for HellRaisers. This time they're going to be getting Roshan. So right now, after 2 big Chronos that Unique have used, one in mid lane, they got team wiped and lost mid tier 1. A second Chrono, they lose Roshan. So even though Unique are getting kills with Chrono, they lose any objective after it.
Yeah, that's the big problem, the escalation here, right? Like, the amount of kills that Unique are getting are not scaling up with these Chronos, whereas the amount of time that and what HellRaisers can do with it essentially is like the advantage they have in that moment. Like you said, tier 1 now is a Roche plus a tier 1 situation, maybe even a tier 2 before Unique are ready to fight again. Meanwhile, bot, give me a reload play in for Petashara. Does get the Stampede away, pounces off the mark with the 4-star forward, try and get Nyx in with the charge forward as well. They should be able to bring him down. Chain Frost bounced across them in Poshka and the neutral creeps. Petashara out of mana, trying to bring him down. It's a little bit harder now that they've got nothing to burn, but they've got enough damage. They just completely and utterly ignore the Chain Frost and get themselves a double kill.
Yeah, that was the excellent Marco Spiritbreaker. Nah, joke. No, that's Team Unique. They played the last 5-6 minutes always as clumped as 5. Of course, it starves them with farm. The one time that they kind of open up and try and split push, they instantly get punished by this lineup of HellRaisers. So I think Unique again are going to realize, oh, hold up, we can't do this. We have to hold each other's hands and we have to move around the map as like this kind of unbreakable unit of 5. Otherwise, they are going to get picked off one by one.
But someone back up again. Here. There was an attempt, but apparently it was off the mark. The Atos was revealed, and it wasn't good enough to bring down a target. Tier 2 tower does go down in the meantime. Now HellRaisers can finally look to bank on top with a tier 1 and tier 2 still standing there. As you said, Chrono is now up. Maybe Unique can get out and make a play. Does this feel like a smoke out situation and try and find a pick off, or do you just try and buy more time until the Aegis runs out?
Not at all. I think right now this is very much a Unique realize that HellRaisers, they own every single tower on their side other than tier 3s, aka high ground. And they know that if they can get a little bit more farm from the lanes pushing in, from the fact that HellRaisers are pushing out all lanes, Unique get maybe one more item, then this high ground defense will be the saving grace. Because HellRaisers, we spoke about this already, their high ground is Slark kind of pathetically hitting high ground towers, kind of awkwardly, maybe getting Chrono and dying, and then Venom wants a Plague Wards. Other than that, no high ground. So if Unique accept that it doesn't matter if they're 10k behind, because they know that if they can hold this high ground, make sure that a good team fight is there, they're in a good spot, potentially.
They didn't listen. They went out to play, and Petashara is going to be casualty of war as a result. Doesn't involve using the Stampede. Might as well save it for when you back up.
This is one of those moments where they kind of get debated by their own wards. So on that high ground, as you see here, these are dire wards. They just had their own ward and sentry on there. So they had this full sense of security. But if you look at the minimap right now, there's an observer placed within the camp on the top side of this jungle. That's the ward that saw the Centaur. So his own ward made him feel like he could farm there because they had the double sentry place as well. And then they instantly get jumped because there's deeper wards scouting him. So unfortunate from Centaur, but debated by his own wards.
Something we always love to see is these evolutions of the map and the way that people evolve their warding game, right? Because eventually, like, you kind of know the spots. So every time you see these kind of big chunk changes, you get these very different warding styles. Like, you know, the first few weeks of the patch, we wouldn't have seen these wards in the camps like you're seeing at the moment.
The hills are the best friends for wards.
Yes, the newbie spots, right? Just stick them on the eyes. That's not a
Hey guys, I put all my sentries on the hills. I find their ward. It's safe now. Go farm.
Hey, it works at first. Remember when we had the camps together in the top where the outpost has now replaced it and everyone just kept sniping cores because of that very obvious warding spot?
God.
I recall.
Oh my god, Furion is broken because he can kill my carrier because he sees them and TPs and kills them all the time. Oh my god.
I mean, I recall us like watching that.
This is such a key fight. I don't care about couriers anymore. This is a...
They care about Petashara's life. Can they protect him though? The BKB. There's Stampede to get him away. And Kaysani with the lasso. They need to get rid of the big core centaur and he's gone already. BKB ends up being worthwhile and all of a sudden Unique in their base. Initiation will be 10 times harder without that Stampede to get in and out.
They're actually getting so debated from their own like placement in the map. So like they place again a ward in their own height in their own jungle, right? But Dire, just south of that ward, they have their own ward as well. So of course, going on Void again, keeping up the aggression. But Unique are trying to take a place on the map and own it so that they can hold this high ground and take a fight. But when it's outside of their base, it's very awkward. They're trying to control an area out of their base to have some farm. But HellRaisers are so mobile, so active, and they have such good vision right now to spot these movements, they can punish it. And they're not allowing Unique any room to leave their base. They're just being forced in here. And at this point, they're just going to get choked out, lose so much gold, only get to farm whatever HellRaisers want them to farm, i.e. push lanes, and yeah, it's...
Yeah, and I love these looser ward placements, right? Like, because HellRaisers, they can move in off the back of a charge, then place a ward. It's not predictable. And the beautiful thing is because you have this Slark IO and you have the Batrider who can be anywhere, the boots to travel on the Venno as well as the Spirit Breaker, it gives you this global presence that allows you to go with more loose warding because you can react so quickly, right? In Kaysani, they will actually punish him finally. They managed to find a kill. Pretty significant one.
Well, it's nice to see Unique are still moving out the base. They're not being like... One of the most default mechanisms right now would just be, okay, they're aggressive. They clearly have this like, infinite vision on us. We have no way of... They have hacks. They see us everywhere we go. But no, they've still got confidence. They're still moving out the base. But I think potentially if they can get maybe an extra one item on their cores and maybe buy a gem, they can start kind of controlling areas properly. But I think right now just this deep vision from Imposhka is really kind of cutting through Unique and limiting their ability to actually make any moves at all.
And that's what I was going to highlight, right? Is like, this is the type of game where you have to realize they've got this loose vision that's hard to detect. So you definitely want a gem. The Centaur probably still doesn't feel safe to carry one. He's still getting picked off so easily. Maybe he can get away with it if he plays more defensively. Miposhka, charge in on an aggressive child. Just to prove who's the bigger aggressive kid here. The reload is coming in on the back line, but there it is on the Gilga. The Chrono again, but Nyx with the BKB, so he's not the target. Io is gone. Poison over on the side of the bear and its owner. But now they'll try and turn and fight. Nyx hitting an aggressive child. The last two coming out. The chain cross bounce between them. No, it's going to backfire quickly. Slark is down already. And they're going to find more here. 4 are going to fall. And they might lose 5 as they're chasing forward on a Funnick. They realize he's a little bit too far out. But a big chunk of kills found by Unique. And finally, the combo hits home and gets some serious value.
So at the start of this fight, they're moving into a choke point. The Slark has to instantly use BKB for the Chrono. Io dies because he's, for some reason, on the wrong side of this Chrono. He's in front of his team, not behind. So he gets blown up as well. And it's like, if this Void is able to hit this big clutch Chrono, getting the Io and the Slark in a choke point, then of course you're going to have to win this fight. Like, you have to respect the damage that they have in this Chrono. You've got Sky, obviously all his spells. You've got the Lich ultimate. Like, there's so much stuff that you need to throw out inside just the Chrono. Post Chrono, HellRaisers excel. But if HellRaisers are out of position and get, you know, punished by this, then of course they're going to die. So I think HellRaisers, they're feeling themselves a bit too much. They're getting a little bit too kind of complacent with their positioning, which then led to them in that kind of dire situation. Dire, because you know they're dire.
Let's focus.
That's been said about 1,000 times.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
care. I know it's been said 1,000 times, but I'm gonna own it today. Woo-wee!
All right, nice. We've got the pun lord. We'll call him Rapunzel from now on. And
no, I'm a one and done guy, you know.
Okay.
Oh, geez, that sounded horrendous. No, I'm not. Yeah. Oh, God. Oh, Jesus.
One pump chump.
I am not alpha.
He has no tricks left. He's gone. He's definitely better.
No Chrono. Off we go.
And that's the thing. That like those are the situations they can play aggressively. I think the biggest issue of the last fight, like you said, I was caught on the wrong side because they're making this like I've got you now play, right? As if they're in a Star Wars movie where they think they can just cut off the escape route when Unique are ready to fight, right? The Millennium Falcon's in the fight. It's not that you found the rebels in retreat. They are actually ready to engage you. So it feels like when you have those type of fights, HellRaisers reload plays need to be in the core chunk of team, right? Like they can't be trying for this pincer maneuver every time. The pickoffs. Oh, that's easier. Lasso. And now they'll throw out the Mystic Flare. Backfire to Kaysani. Moves away just in time. The reload play in. BKB's been activated. An aggressive child trying to move away. Nick's down on top of them. They have got the Raw to try and scare away the Slark. So he'll just back up as you get bashed by the bear.
Slark did have the basher. Got about 2 hits off. And you know that if this was your pub, you'd have been bashed there and you'd have died. But because these guys are pro players, obviously competing for money, blessed be thy void. He did not get bashed. Amen. Thank you, Gaben. So dumb, actually. Basher.
Hey, RNG is reasonably balanced in Dota, okay?
No, it's pay to win. If you're playing for money, you can get biased towards your RNG values. This is awful, though.
Are you playing the right game?
Here's another Chrono.
The Chrono. But hold on.
Not as good, though.
They're just tanking it.
Good.
They didn't actually stop the heals, and now they can just turn on him right here. Miposhka trying to move away as he baits them in deep. Chain Frost in the choke point, the stampede forward. Stomp, only connecting on one. Miposhka would chase down. Spirit Breaker already dead, but they need to retreat. Lich looks like he might fall. Doesn't even get the down, and he will go down. Kodos is still standing and fighting here, but so's Nyx. He's not scared. Pedishara will just about stay alive, but the Spirit Vessel ticking him down as Funnick stays on top. The TP out of temp. Kodos, no, the bash into the charge follow-up. You might be a tanky Spirit Bear, but you are not going to stay alive. Kodos trying to have his pet scare them away, but inevitably will go down. Triple kill for Funnick, and the Veno impact finally found as we reach the later stages of the game.
If we take this fight we just watched and the previous fight at that location and put them side by side, you can see clearly how the positioning of the IO in those fights, the difference. The first fight, IO is heavily out of position, dies in chrono, fight's over. IO is in better position, Void is chrono in by himself, no damage following up into the chrono as well, that's key to note. They win the fight. So I think Unique, this game is so critical that they can't make mistakes. They make one mistake at this point next to their high ground, instantly get punished. And you just can't make these mistakes. Unfortunately, this chrono, this poor positioning, boom, punishes Unique.
It's the typical issue that we see, right? It's like when you've got Ios, Wyverns, Shadow Demons, these type of heroes in this game, you can't ignore them. You have to give them full credit and actually eliminate them to start the fight. Or you make your life 10 times harder.
Also, they did actually just have a repair kit and Lich Armor on that tower. So I take it back. Unique are heavily still in this game. They lost no racks. Thank you, repair kit.
But
and
in fairness,
back to the arena budget.
In fairness, you force the glyph. Roche might spawn in a second, and at least it's not the old repair kit, okay? They had to use the glyph to get the multi-shot there. And Roche was a fast spawn, by the way, so we're good.
This game, it's just Unique, they're staying in it. It's like, the difference is, though, mistakes made by Unique, they are heavily punished. Objective-based, map-based. Mistakes made by HellRaisers, they don't really lose anything from these mistakes. They've kept the gold lead, they've kept the map pressure, they've maybe let Raiden get a ward out or two, but it's not really effective.
They got a smoke out.
Heavily draft based.
They'll force them out of the pit. They might lose their bear for it as well. Down to half HP. Does take a while to get rid of with the frost shield on it, but inevitably, poor little bear does go down into an early grave. They are on the chase, looking for a target. There's gonna be a charge in right now.
Well, very tanky.
Glimmer Cape, no fear.
Dusted.
They see him though. Frost shield, throws out the chain frost.
Ultimate.
Who cares?
How dare you gank me? I am but a lich. Take my ultimate as a spite play.
I have nothing left to give. The life of a 5 every time.
My work area is done. Whoop.
I placed the ward. I threw out my ultimate. I died. What more do you people want from me?
Pings. We need observer wards. Pings. Lich dead. Pings. Observers in stash.
It's like, you know what, like, the life of a 5 is not that different from a rogue. Every time he's like, what more do you want from me? And then you check and realize, oh, you've actually got more things on you. I want all those things. Just like with your supports, where you want their salve on the lane, then you want their wards everywhere, then you want them to use all their items on you.
So needy, these cores.
Yeah, exactly. Pos 5s and Roshan, they're the truly abused of the Dota land.
This is very... I'm moving away from the poor story of position 5s and martyrdom.
It's gonna be a Patreon.
This has been such a
HellRaisers.
It's been such a HellRaisers game. You know, like every move has been, even though they've made some mistakes, it's always been a forward move from HellRaisers. Unique have been unable to make any forward moves.
And another forward move coming in. Last year's out. Kaysani is silenced up. It's gonna drag Pedishara back a bit. He just didn't want to get him deep, right? Because then you give him a free form of initiation.
Let's take the tower, lads.
Slowly but surely.
There we go.
The Bat Rider.
Take the shrine.
Oh,
it's 7.24.
No, we don't have to worry about those anymore. You can take those fake shrines on the side if you want, but that's about it. The game has changed. Nyx being dragged over Raxus. Another example where the game has changed compared to before. Oh, Chain Frost.
Get out of my base.
Please just leave. Like, wait, no, we've got a Slark and an IO. Let's get back in. The heart.
I think that was a little bit kind of it's a bit awkward. I think they're getting a bit restless, I think, on Team Unique.
Charge in. And they might rest in peace. This right, Chrono on the free, looking good. Kilga the target with the Mystic Flare, gonna get him low enough to bring him down. But now they have to continue to fight. The buyback comes out from Io. He needs to get into the fight quickly. Was never going out. They brought down one already. Buyback from the Centaur. Stampede instantly so his team can disengage and then jump him back for Nyx. We'll get the Aegis out already. Kilga, that's going to be the dieback. He's going to go down the second time with Funnick. Now the Bash Love coming out in his face, but Kodos, he needs to run that bear away. No fear. Well, he was fearless and as a result died. Nyx able to back off in time. Buyback comes out from the Lich, aggressively TPing, but they're out. They say no. We force a few buybacks, but Io is still down. Let's calm down for a second. Maybe look to re-engage. They go back in straight away. Looking at Pedishara, but the Frost Shield makes it a little bit too hard. They can't get the kill, but they can at least get the racks here as the double catapults have been wailing away at the buildings.
Gilgal was very aggressive there. Instant relocate back in. Just kind of wants to take a little bit more damage, but HellRaisers, I think... I don't know if it's like... It's their over-aggression here. Like, they've played the 37 minutes of this game just at the throats of Unique, really deep aggressive vision, really pushing it to them. When they get to this high ground siege, as soon as Chrono is wasted, they could just potentially just hit the buildings and force Unique to feel very awkward about the situation. But instead they dive into the tier 4s, the one place that Unique are going to be extremely strong. See, the entire area of the base under towers, bonus armor. Obviously the buybacks have insane value because you don't have to TP anyway because you're just literally in the fight already. Like, HellRaisers, I respect their aggression. I love their aggression post high ground, pre-high ground, sorry. When it gets to high ground, they just need to be a little bit more cool, calm, collected, you know? Hit the buildings, let the Venomancer do the chip, void waste Chrono, you're good. You don't need to dive, just relax.
It feels like that's all triggered by the back ride at the start, right? The lasso. Because as soon as they've used that, they go, okay, wait, if they jump us, suddenly we don't have as many resets. So maybe we should just kill one of them outright straight away. And
yeah, it was the first lasso from that. Was like, we're gonna go. Oh no, hold on. Oh no, I'm gonna come. Oh no, oh.
They're like, no, don't bring the centaur to us. That's a free initiation, right? Keep him there. Okay, you guys just hit the buildings then.
It's like they felt bad for the Lich because he just spiked through his ult. I was like, guys, we need to dive now. This Lich, he's a bit annoyed, so let's take the fight to him, make him feel good.
Let's just tilt GG him out. That's the strategy here. And I mean, to their credit, the way they played aggressive over time is they make mistakes there, but they never get punished because Unique, while they do have quick building destroyers and things like the Lone Druid, they can never utilize it because of the starvation on the map. Exactly.
Yes, they've been in their base for pretty much 19 to 20 minutes, and
a map
great
would not look
initiation
good.
onto a Centaur.
Yep, Spirit Vessel on him as well. Mimposhka charged the back line to keep them away. Stampede used to just run away. Now jump in by aggressive child, but he gets stunned straight away. BKB, Nix should be able to survive this. They turn around, looking on a Funnick instead, but he's so goddamn tanky with that heart. He's still staying alive. Reload, trying to move him away, but they can't. Funnick, he says, go! What if you want me? You can take me, but someone else is coming to the grave with me. Instead, Mimposhka is the first casualty of war. And it looks like they do find the bear as well. They can turn around, take this tower, and probably the melee racks as well, as that's everything that Unique had in the chamber.
Fools are still, they're just staring him in the face, just eye to eye, just like, you want to kill me, huh? You want to kill me? Come to me. It's like, no, you can't, mate. But Gilda relocating my boy Slark out.
Nix with that pounce where it's like, oh wait, he doesn't have Chrono, does he? Maybe we just mess with him?
Why are we scared here?
Bash. Try and burn that mana through. Shiva's to slow him down as well. Moving in Nix. Now the Mystic Flare coming out. Gonna bash him with the stance as well. Nix is gonna stay alive. Io's keeping him to no. Jump away just in time with the Shadow Dance. But a little bit too close for comfort. This might be the moment where they back away and go, okay, respect the combo. They are a little bit dangerous still.
I'm sorry, Unique. I didn't mean to stay here too long. Forgive me. Let me just reset. I don't have my Spirit Breaker alive. I'm sorry. Hold on.
It's that moment you go, oh, right. Yeah, Bash is magical damage, right? And I've got Silence on me that amps all magical. This is hurting a lot more than it should.
Just, look.
But funny.
They do a light reset, you know? A nice little
DD.
Get back a second. Spirit Breaker's live in 7. Get a DD. Back in again. There's no chrono up for like 75 seconds, so...
And this is with Frost Shield on, by the way. This is the power of the DD and the stacks building up. Now aggressive child going through the BKB, so they can't even stomp him up. They're forced to fight. Void, Glimmercape trying to protect him, trying to move away, but the lasso is there and he's dead. 90 seconds on the sideline. They push back on a no fear as well. You might as well throw out the ultimate in aggression and anger, but it won't change the outcome as the GG gets called and HellRaisers take game 1.
Yeah, that was the beautiful demonstration of, even though they do this aggressive move mid, diving, making it awkward, again, if you don't have chrono, you can't fight, and they make this play mid. They buy back on Gilga, whatever. They do anything they want. They do the reset. They take bottom. It's over. Like the Void didn't scale quick enough and become so much of a unit to be able to truly fight. Like look at his items right now. He's got BKB, Miona, Satanic. Like he's still got 2 inventory slots of nothing, and that was because how HellRaisers played, how they forced him into their base. The Centaur, he only has a pipe and Lotus. He has no initiate. They have no way to start a fight outside of the chrono. It's just awkward. And then look at the Lone Druid as well. Like they have no items on Team Unique because they have just been starved.
No, it's true. They sat in their base so long that actually I'm starting to wonder if there was, with all that vision on the map, HellRaisers just being fed too much information, especially when we get a zoom in on the Radiant shopkeeper at the end there, and he's smiling. Maybe he was the maybe he was the double agent. Maybe he's working with HellRaisers because it just
He was
felt
only
like they
happy.
knew everything.
No,
Yeah, he had
was
a
just
smile on
happy
his face, like a
because he had
sick.
company the entire time. Because Team
Oh,
Unique were hugging their base. There are 5 heroes basically in the Radiant shop the entire time. So he had the ability to practice his small talk. Because what else was Team Unique going to do? They couldn't leave their base. Hellraisers on the other hand, their shopkeeper's probably just depressed. All he sees is donkeys leaving his base.
hey, you say depressed, but he's got to be pretty happy with all the money he was making when you
Oh,
look at
true.
the net
Actually,
worth
that's
comparisons. Exactly.
no,
Like
but
you're a shopkeeper. Come on,
no, but they're
you
both
want to
humble
fill
men.
it.
They like the ability for small talk and just companionship, being able to have a social experience.
Oh, okay.
That's why they
They're good
work in these
guys.
jobs. Yeah,
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 they
yeah.
they, they
They
sell
don't care about the
everything at
money.
face value, right?
Oh,
With a
I know
nice
you just killed a Roshan.
All right.
Buddy.
Yeah, Broshan's gone, and we're going to a break. We'll be back shortly for game number 2.